This is just a narration of the photographs of the boat. That's the back deck of the boat there. There's a little repair needed at the wooden part to the left there. That's not been done very well, and that's the only part that really needs some heavy help. That's on Mike's dock, where it just stayed overnight when we bought it from the Trout River, 6-hour journey along the St. John's River, and part of it through rain, and it was a long trip but enjoyable at the same time. She's a little worn in places, so I've got the barnacles off since taking this photograph, and it needs a little clean up at the waterline. The fly bridge on the top needs some work. There's a glass shield there that I intend to take off, as the corner of it is broken anyway. And she's sitting on the flat at the moment, I'm told. I put her in the shallows. It was quite a high tide, and I put her up so that when the water went out she would be sitting on the bottom. This is some artistic sort of adaptations I've made. That's a black and white version of the same photograph, and for fun I also put Heidi's suggestion of a name on the front. She said Heidi Bargy as a name, so I tried a few, just stuck the name on the front in order to send it to her. And it was done with Adobe Photoshop, just playing around. This is the dock, Mike's dock on the left, and the island to the front. That's how she looks from way over at County Dock. This is taken obviously in the water, or in the canoe, at the waterline. Doesn't look too wonderful. That's how she'll clean up. But anyway, the windows work well. The curtains need replacing. Lots of work, as I say, at the waterline to clean her up and paint her or whatever. She has a bimini that needs some work on that, and there's the canoe that I use to transport between the boats and also between the dock and the boats. It's tied to the island on the left as we look at this picture. There are two ropes going out from her bow to the island. You can see better here that she's roped to two trees on the island, and roped at the back to the red buoy, and then to the sailboat. This is how she sits in high tide, and I'm told that at the moment she is sitting out of the water, flat down on her two screws. She has two engines which I don't think work. I haven't actually been able to look at those yet, but she has two fairly big engines, motors. They can be replaced. This is where I'm making my way back, and at the park, and that's Mike's dock there. That's how she sits in front of the island. That's the start of the island there, those trees. The one to the right is more or less the start. On this particular day the island was actually submerged. There wasn't really any terra firma at all on that day, as it was a particularly high tide, but most of the tides I've been seeing, there is actually some dry land on the island, but not on that day. This is her tied up at Mike's dock, where she stayed the night, having arrived from Jacksonville Trout River. As I say, a 6-hour journey. That's where the most of the work is needed. Someone put a air conditioner in that square hole on the left, and it's pretty ugly. That's the beautiful part of it, sitting there looking out the back. Very nice. There's that thing on the left on the floor is for a table, which I might get rid of, and beneath there's some storage beneath there. This is looking out of the back and to the sailboat and to Buckman Bridge. This is the view from inside the cabin, looking out through the open doorway, and that's the canoe tied up there at the side. And again the view of out the back, which is very nice out there, and some attachments. I did some adjustments in Adobe to that picture. That's what you're seeing there at the moment. And that's in the background. You can see the skyline. There's an arrow showing you exactly where the centre of Jacksonville is, which is by road about 8 miles away. It takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get to the centre, and that's Buckman Bridge right there. And someone wants to talk to me on the phone, which I'm going to ignore. That orange buoy I found on the island. You can see the island to the front of the boat there, those few trees and whatever, that's the island. You'll see something that actually shows where the island, it goes fully to the right, and just to the front there's where it starts. That went a bit quick. This is looking through the front windows onto the island from inside the cabin, and that's Peter's boat there and his dinghy that he dinghies out to his catamaran after work. There's a closer picture of his catamaran, and he lives on that and works nearby. Another photograph from the boat on Mike's dock, and a photo of Lick, who's tied but to the back through the buoy. This was where I did some artistic rendering of the sailboat to just try some different things with Adobe, make her look. I was particularly fond of this particular photograph and tried some variations. That's the other side of the river there. It's about 3 miles across from one side to the other at that particular point. That's an artistic version of the previous photograph. And there's the sailboat head on with landfall behind there. That's the neighbours. And like a mill pond at that particular time, the water